Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? Listen, grab your children and kiss them goodbye. We got 60 seconds left. I'm kidding. I hate when people do that. I swear it's just for clickbait and for views. That pisses me off more than anything. It really does. But listen. What we're going to talk about today is something a little scary, okay? So, grab your coffee. You might need some tea with some ginger to calm your stomach down, all right? Because apparently, and some of you might agree with this, okay? But some of you may not. So we can agree to disagree. WW3 has already begun. I'm just saying. Now, you simply are not being told any of this because the powers that be, they're dishonest. The media outlets, jokes, right? After all, they want to use the remaining time to stockpile food and ammos and medical supplies and precious metals for themselves. We gotta one-up them. Okay? So, this can only be accomplished by withholding the truth about the situation for as long as possible. You know it. I know it. We got to beat them at their own game. So, the Prime Minister of Serbia may be an exception to this. Hear me out. He is now publicly warning that the world is about to experience a great world conflict that will likely begin in the next 2 months. This is what he said. I assume that we are leaving the phase of the special military operation and approaching a major armed conflict, and now the question becomes, where is the line? And whether, after a certain time, maybe a month or two, even, we will enter a great world conflict, not seen since the Second World War. Yeah. Now, he said this at the UN General Assembly session in New York. So, what's happening is that psychopathic Western nations have the real aggressors in this, have unleashed. Okay, they took their harnesses off, they took their helmets off, they stopped eating the crayons and licking the windows. They have unleashed not just the sanctions. Oh no. They're also running the military operations in this invasion. You know the invasion I'm talking about. Okay? This means that NATO is already in this war. Even if they don't want to admit it, they're in it. And worse yet, NATO leaders are openly demanding the complete destruction of Russia. And the occupation, the exploitation of Russia's natural resources, which is, of course, the entire model of global exploitation and pillaging typically carried out by the West. Disrupt, pillage, control. Huh. So, conditions are already long past the point of negotiation, disescalation between Russia and the West. The psychopathic leaders of the West are haters. Haters gonna hate, right? And they are determined to carry out the G word, genocide. against the Russian people, even if it means destroying their own economies and agricultural supply chains in the process. They're psychopaths, man. They ain't right in the head. Okay? And Putin has come to realize he can't be reasoned with, trusted, to abide by any agreements whatsoever. They realize it must fight or die. That's where we're at right now. It's a very uncomfortable situation. Unfortunately, the insanity of Western nations has escalated this conflict to a condition where whoever launches first has the advantage. This is very dangerous, dynamic, obviously, and it stems from the fact that the West has repeatedly signaled it will not allow the existence of Russia in that New World Order. The vision of planet Earth. So, an important realization is that NATO's nuclear arsenal is ancient. Mostly running on design originally engineered from the 70s. While Putin, his capabilities are at least 2 generations ahead. Modernized hyperglide reentry vehicles, evasive maneuver capabilities for ICBMs. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. Russia possesses secret doomsday weapons. Okay? Far beyond their thermobaric bombs. The world has never seen anything like it. On the current trajectory, they're going to be introduced to the West without a warning whatsoever. That's the scary part. And I have no doubt whatsoever that they have already designated targets of its first strike. And it could be like London, Paris, all the big cities. Berlin, Warsaw, U.S. naval fleets. All right? Now, the U.S. and NATO have deluded themselves into thinking that they can win an exchange with Russia. But this is just as delusional as thinking that men can get pregnant. Okay? Delusional, irrational, idiotic. Or that money printing doesn't cause inflation. Over the past 2 decades, and more recently, led by the insanity of wokeism, the West has become fully invested in delusional thinking and fairy tale narratives that have no connection with reality. While the West has been waging a propaganda narrative war, Russia has been engineering the world's most advanced nuclear weapons. It's amazing. And he's not going to back down. I hope everyone realizes that. He's not going to back down. And okay, if there was a chess match between Putin and Potato, all right, you probably see Potato augmented with remote-controlled vibrating diapers to send his chess moves signals through his rectum. And he still wouldn't understand the meaning of chess notations anyway. The leaders of Western nations are so utterly incompetent that they don't even qualify as clowns. Bozo's got more IQ points than this one does, alright? Think about it. Since Clowns are actually intelligent. They're capable of communication. They make people laugh. But data makes us go, oy vey. Biden, Blinken, Newland, they all just make us go. But as proof of the incompetence of Western nations, consider the fact that their sanctions, originally implemented to try and force Russia into a currency collapse, it's had actually the opposite effect. And the sanctions are destroying the euro, not the ruble. And now, all of Western Europe faces a winter of darkness, famine, freezing to death. That's on top of the permanent deindustrialization of Europe's industry that is already well underway. With about 70% of metals smelting and ammonia production already offline. Fertilizer production has ground to a halt. The Nord Stream 1 pipeline halted. And to add insult to injury, Belgium, they're proudly announcing the shutting down of a nuclear power plant, right as Belgium faces an energy scarcity catastrophe. Yeah. There's so much going on. It's really scary times that we're in. Meanwhile, Germany, they're putting another $8 billion into bailing out Uniper, which is a major natural gas provider. Yeah. And that's on top of the $15 billion that was already spent trying to prevent Uniper's collapse. It's not going to end, guys. We're in for a rough ride. And if you think that it's not going to come here, you're sadly mistaken. I'm sorry. But this is why we prep, right? So, if I were you, I would start stocking up on the things that are going to matter the most. OTCs, prescriptions. There's a link in the description box to Jace Medical, where you can get antibiotics with no prescription. Stock up on things that you know you're going to need. Amp up your preps. You won't regret it. I promise. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. You stay safe. You stay positive. You keep prepping. And as always, fearless.